Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to do my updated 2024 presidential prediction with just 5 days to go until election day. Let's get into it. So starting off with the safe blue states for Kamala Harris, we got Washington, California, Hawaii, Illinois, Maryland, Delaware, uh, sorry, Maryland, Delaware, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, Maine's first district, sorry, the District of Columbia, and those are all the safe blue states for Kamala Harris. Now let's get into the safe Republican states. These are all expected states. I mean, come on, we got states like Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Nebraska's first district, Nebraska at large, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Missouri, Kentucky, Washington, Indiana, and that is all for the safe states. Now let's move on to the likely Democratic states, starting with Oregon, Colorado, Minnesota, Virginia, New Mexico, New Jersey, New Hampshire, and Maine at large. So these states, I'll give you the margins for my prediction. Oregon, D plus 14, Colorado, D plus 10, New Mexico, D plus 8, Minnesota, D plus 7, Virginia, D plus 9, New Jersey, D plus 11, New Hampshire, D plus 6, and Maine, D plus 8. Now, I want to talk about Nebraska second. Some people would put it in likely, and I'm hovering between likely and lean. Right now, I do have it in lean, just barely lean. D plus 4.3 is my prediction right now in Nebraska's second district. I feel like Nebraska, it's shifting to the right, and with like Nebraska, I feel like it's going to become more red soon, and I feel like Nebraska second will also go right. Now let's go to the the likely Republican states. These are Alaska, Texas, Kansas, Iowa, Ohio, South Carolina, Florida, and Maine second district. These states are likely Republican. Here are my margins for them. Alaska R plus 9, Texas R plus 8, Kansas R plus 13, Iowa R plus 11, Ohio R plus 10, South Carolina R plus 13, and Florida R plus 10. Oh, and also Maine second district R plus 12. So these are my likely Republican states. I do feel like Texas will shift to the left by a bit, and Florida will shift to the right by quite a bit. But now we move on to our final swing states. We have Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. Out of these, I feel like the one that will be won by the biggest margin is going to be North Carolina by a lean Republican margin of, I'd say, 3.7 points. North Carolina, why? I mean, this was the only swing state that Trump won in 2020, and I feel like he will carry it once again. And this will not be the first time since Obama that Democrats will win North Carolina. Alright, now let's move on to which state I believe will be the next least close. That is going to be right to the south of North Carolina. That is Georgia. 16 electoral votes in both of these states. Georgia, I believe, will be won by Donald Trump by 2.4 percentage points. A bit more. Joe Biden won this swing state by less than a point. A very close margin in 2020. I feel like Trump will flip it this year. Black populations are going to shift to the right by quite a bit. Atlanta shifts to the right by quite a bit. And I feel like Georgia will carry a lot of these suburb areas in Atlanta. Now let's move on to the next closest swing state, which I believe will be Nevada. I believe that Nevada will be carried by 1.2 points in Nevada. Kamala Harris will carry this swing state by 1.2 percentage points. That is a lean Democratic margin in the state of Nevada. Latinos will heavily shift to the right here, but not enough for it to go into tilt or even Republicans flipping it. But Nevada will be won by a lean margin. Joe Biden won this by around 2.4 percentage points in 2020. Now let's move on to the next closest swing state, which I believe will be Arizona. Arizona will be won by Trump in my prediction by 1.3 percentage points, much less than either Georgia or North Carolina, but still a sizable margin at the least, especially because Joe Biden did win the state by only around under a point in 2020. I feel like Donald Trump will flip it in 2024. Let's move on to the next closest state, which I believe will be Michigan. Michigan, I feel like, will be won by a tilt margin, and in my prediction, I have Kamala Harris winning it by exactly 0.8 percentage points, almost a lean margin if it surpassed 1 percentage point. But Michigan will be kind of close, a tilt margin. Kamala Harris carries the state. I feel like the Rust Belt is shifting to the left sooner or later, and Tim Walz definitely helps in the areas of Wisconsin and Michigan, a bit less in Pennsylvania. J.D. Vance definitely helps a lot in Pennsylvania. Speaking of the Rust Belt, let's move on to Wisconsin, which I believe will be won by a tilt margin. Tim Walz, if, for example, Harris did not select Walz as her running mate, I would have Wisconsin in lean Republican right now. But because of Walz's positive impact in Western Wisconsin, I have it as a tilt Republican margin. Wisconsin, Trump won it by a pretty sizable margin in 2016. Biden flipped it in 2020 by less than a point, very close in 2020. I feel like it will be close once again, but this time Trump flips it. Now let's go to Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, I have Trump winning it by 0.3 percentage points. Wisconsin, I have Trump winning it by 0.7 percentage points. Both are super close states, but I do have Trump winning both of them. Trump gets 291 electoral votes. Kamala Harris gets 247 electoral votes. Donald Trump wins the presidency. And thank you for watching today's video. I'll probably be doing one more presidential prediction before Election Day, but thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.